172,697 miles on the speedometer. 77 degrees Fahrenheit. It's March 23, 2023. And you guessed it, there is Linda. Linda Spivey, my wife, and I am the husband, Cole Spivey. And we are headed out to eventually drop food at your doorstep. Linda will be dropping it off at the point of sale system. We're going across a bridge, and now it's time for my sandwich. Okay. And welcome to the Please Subscribe show. Here's the show. I'm going to show you shots of the highway, kind of. Well, I don't know, I'd rather have the sandwich right now, so you have to imagine it in your head. Today's a fun day. Mostly just dropping food at your doorstep. We'll be going to different restaurants and all kinds of fun stuff. Probably until evening time. Big smile. Where are you, big smile?
Thank you for choosing whatever I got tonight.
All right, we're gonna see some downtown action. Picking up some kind of salad at an Italian restaurant, and I was listening to Sun Kill Moon, Mark Kazalik, and his song "I Love My Dad." Talks about how his dad played him the album "They Only Come Out at Night" by Edgar Winters. I put it on. It's got a nice little vibe, 1970s. You know, the song "Hanging Around." Listen to that one. Pretty cool. We're seeing some skyscrapers. I like how musicians can give suggestions to listen to certain albums and their lyrics. I think David Bowie used to kind of hint at it. But, you know, some musicians will, you know, help out other musicians by talking about them and their lyrics. I did it with I did it with Motion Light talks about Neil Young. It actually has a little segment where it talks about when the loading begun, and I'm kind of quoting Neil Young, and I kind of quote Neil Young a little bit when I wrote "All Men Are Cool." The song was kind of dedicated to Neil Young. It's a really good song. It really is. It was on my SoundCloud. I don't know if it made it on my Drooble. So I got 600 songs on my SoundCloud, and I dropped the subscription. I only got like 20 demos on there, meaning 20 single demos, 20 singles, or something like that, under the Linda and Cole band. But it's under Cole Spivey. I'm the producer and creator of the music of my own. The SoundCloud thing's a difficult thing. I don't recommend it. I recommend Drooble or anything free that you can always access and check on. YouTube, 100%. You can load your songs up on YouTube all day long, and they'll be there. You don't have to worry about it. Google likes doing that kind of stuff. They want me to take this toll road, and I'm not going to do it. It says exit only, CTP, toll road. No thanks. But we are going to get to that Italian salad. Antonio salad is the name of the salad. And we're going to pick it up and drop it off at your doorstep. Now, just to be clear, these are my original songs. So on SoundCloud, I had my own original written songs that I wrote and played, 600 of them. I'm not lying. And they were all uploaded up onto SoundCloud. And my voice, my guitar, and that was it. And I did that over a period of maybe at least about a year and a half. Then I met Linda, and I started the Linda and Cole band, now the Cole and Linda Filmmaker Band. Back when we were in Carrollton, we uploaded a good 50 songs, a couple albums, in a short period of time, like 6 months, maybe less. We do 2 songs a day sometimes. We uploaded that on SoundCloud. I stopped the subscription, and you can only access like 20 of them. So you're still able to access it, but you're not able to get all of it unless you pay back to the subscription. They give you back that memory, that data. But I do have a lot on Drooble. We got a big chunk, creative chunk on it, and we put 3 albums up on Drooble. One album is She Passed Out. That's our big kind of debut album, with the single She Passed Out, sung by Linda, and then I play guitar on everything. Linda only plays the shaker and sings. And then we switched over to another album. We created our own original album, which is called Peroxide, which is based on my work I did in Irving, and I let Linda sing on some of those songs. And we put that on Drooble. And then we have the You're Right song, which is the 3rd album. I think it's the middle album. So it goes She Passed Out, You're Right song, and Peroxide. Yeah, those are the 3 albums. This is the Museum District. That's where the Italian restaurant is. They have an Antonio salad. We'll be there in a minute. Kimball's doing a special right now. Kimball's doing this right here. And there's that's the pavilion, the piano pavilion. It was created by an Italian designer. It's the prettiest one. It's very kind of lots of light. He mostly focused on light. You got to go in there. You got to fly out here and see it if you're an artist. You got to immediately, all actors, everything, come out here. Piano pavilion, see it. It's an Italian architect, beautiful. It's right next to the Kimball, and then on the other side's the Modern. Hit the Modern too, make a day of it. Stay in one of these places over here. You got hotels all along here on West 7th. I suggest if you go here, try out Serious Pizza. It's halfway decent. If you like really good food, go to Blue Sushi. It's got high-end sushi. The manager's he's a little strict, but the place is really nice. Come down here if you got some money. I don't know, De Niro, whatever. I'll take you to the piano pavilion, and we can both talk about Bradley Cooper's career. Or anybody, you know. I'll take you out. Anyone from the Actor Studio. Keitel to all of them. I know you guys are older. Flying, I'll pick you up at DFW, drive you around. We'll go to the museums. I introduce you to Linda. It'll be fun. You'll be part of the show. I'd love to have you. Anybody with the Actor Studio. Love the Actor Studio. Big fan of it. I'm going to take you to museums and stuff, and, you know, if you like that kind of stuff, we might go to a sushi bar or whatever you guys like, just to let me know. I'll pick you up anytime. Now, you'll have to, you know, cover the hotel stay for yourself, you know. This is if you're really into vegan and vegetarian, I can take you here. It's called Righteous. It's got a little carrot out front right here. It's really good organic. You can see it says Righteous Food. We're going to Milano's to pick up the Antonio salad. Plus, you know, a good celebration because Bradley's going to win the Oscar for Leonard Bernstein. I'm about 100% on that. I was right about Brendan Fraser. So I've seen a clip of it, and it's frightening. It looks like a very powerful performance of Leonard Bernstein. And Bradley is a peer of ours. We all went to the same school, the New School, Actor Studio Drama School. It's a academic program that sponsors actors and helps actors develop not only their artistic career and their professional career, but they also develop their academic career on it as well. So it's threefold when it comes to college acting and then going into Hollywood. Milano's, there's Milano's. But yeah, we're real proud that we're gonna be able to get an Oscar this next year. Hopefully he'll thank the new school and the actor studio. I hope he does. We're gonna throw away some of this trash. Yeah, there's one back here. Kind of passing the 5 Point area of Camp Bowie, but that's W.E. Scott Theater. They used to have their own school. That's a theater. It's one of the central theaters right next to Casa Manana, and Casa brings in the Broadway shows. They'll bring in the touring shows like Madame Butterfly or Phantom of the Opera. Now, Stage West, which is now at the original area, Vickery is where they started. They went all the way full circle, so they're back at Vickery. They did move for a short stint in the 90s to downtown Fort Worth at a place called Texas Theater. They had a really nice run there for 2 or 3 years. I saw Fences there by August Wilson, one of the best productions I've seen of August Wilson. I've seen Fences a few other times too, but they were run by Jerry Russell and his partner. Now, for a little while, probably mid-90s, Jerry Russell moved the theater right next to TCU at where the McAllisters is now, on the corner. I did help them move in the chairs there and set up their chairs, which they use theater chairs. It was an old theater house that they revamped into a modern, an open arena theater. It was almost round. It was almost a round stage. I saw the Swan there, Egloff's Swan there. One of the best productions of the Swan that I've seen. Stage West is very Broadway style. They do a lot of different type of theater, mostly realism. They're going to be based in realism. Dana's running it right now in the Vickery. Now, they moved from McAllister's, and then they finally moved back to Vickery, and Jerry moved them back there. Jerry passed away, and Dana's running it, and they're doing a comedy right now. It's about this folly of a play production that doesn't go right, and the set falls down and all this stuff. I'll have to look at the title. Sorry, I just got the advertisement the other day. It looks like a newer comedy. They do a lot of comedies, a lot of realism. I saw Annie Baker's Aliens there, and it was a great production. It was directed by Dana. Okay. So we also have Hip Pocket Theater run by Johnny Simons and his wife and the 2 girls, Lake and Lorca. Lorca's in England, and she's worked with Uta Hagen. Lake has worked with Jacques Lecoq out in France, and they do experimental theater. They do puppetry, they do mime, and it's based in mime, and Johnny is a mime, but he's also a director. And he taught me. He was my first mime teacher. And they run it all outdoors. And it used to originally be off of, I believe, Las Vegas Trail, and it was at a place called Oak Acres. Now they moved it to Silver Creek, and now they're at Silver Creek. They moved into a place that used to be a shooting range. And they turned all of that into a theater. And it's an outdoor theater that's built. You want to take off spray or some type of mosquito repellent. And they just do all types of experimental theater. They have done a little bit of Sam Shepard, a little bit of Shakespeare. They mostly do original. They do original work. Johnny Simon is a big fan of Marcel Marceau and Marlon Brando. Johnny does respect Stanislavski style theater, but he focuses more on magic realism and writes his own stuff. And it's mostly based in dance, mime, pantomime, and
police reported ahead.
Navy style, I guess you could say, puppetry. I don't know if that makes sense. No, Johnny was once with the Navy, but I'm making a joke about that. But really, puppetry, pantomime, mime, magical theater, that kind of stuff. And they've even brought stuff up to New York. When the Milano show, he brought that all the way up to New York City and has performed there. Okay, and also Johnny's a graduate of Duke University and TCU. Another little theater that kind of doesn't get a lot of attention is Circle Theater, and they're very Broadway style. I've worked with them too. I did a children's show with them. They've even done a staged version of Misery by Stephen King. Stephen King didn't write it, but Stephen King wrote the book Misery, but they adapted that into a play, and I think Samuel French owns it. And Circle Theater is semi-professional, so you'd work under the umbrella, and you could get equity points by working with Circle. And they do professional style theater, very similar to Stage West. It's based in realism. Those are kind of the main theaters. Now there's a Latino theater. My best friend Rob Vasquez, who's a playwright, he's a playwright resident, so he's a resident playwright. He works with them as well as Stage West, but it's a Latino arts theater known as Artes de la Rosa. And Artes de la Rosa works in the Marine Theater, which is towards the Stockyards. It's towards north side. And it's right next to an authentic Mexican restaurant. They also have an art gallery. They work with a guy named Adolfo. And I helped them with a show called A View from a Bridge. They did it Hispanic version, or a Latino version, and I played Tony. But they have done like everything. I saw Rob's directed version of Boxcar. Great show that they did there. Also, Rob has done several of his own original plays there, all just super great, very talented. Rob is a prodigy that was probably as good as writer as any of them in high school, and has continued on being a writer. I used him as an actor when I was in UNT, when I'd have to do certain scenes and stuff that I wanted to work with someone that I knew, and I would bring Rob out to Denton, and he'd help me with scenes and scene work for acting. I was also studied directing, so he helped me be a director because I could direct him. And also, we did 2 productions together at one of their startup theaters called Teatro, which I did Man 1, Man 2, which is an original show that I wrote, and then Rob did Chicken Skin, and I was in that as well. Rob and I are huge Scorsese fans. Rob went to New York, and I think he met Spike Lee and at NYU, and we had been in New York several times. I lived in New York for a while, so kind of branch off and try to learn from the New York masters. And I guess, Rob and I met by talking about Martin Scorsese in our drama room. So I had, rented a copy of Taxi Driver, which became my favorite movie. And when I was talking about him, I had mispronounced Scorsese's name. I don't remember how I mispronounced it. And he told me it was Scorsese, and I said, "Oh, okay, Scorsese." So he was already an expert on Scorsese in high school, and then introduced me to Ingmar Bergman, and gave me kind of an education in film. And Rob was writing published style plays in high school that were blowing away the creative writing classroom, and Sophocles style writer, really one of our greatest. And he'll go down as a great writer, as a great playwright. He has many of them, a whole library of plays that he's written, that he keeps personally. Anyway, so that's kind of the circle, or the whole theater realm, you could call it, in Fort Worth, that the big name theaters. There's been some small ones that have come through and have tried to get a start. It's very difficult to do, just like it is with a restaurant or whatever. But these theaters all work together under an allied theater group. So they all work together. And then it goes all the way out to Arlington, to the Runway, which is BJ Cleveland, all the way to Dallas, to what I like is the Undermain, which is a great theater out there. They do magic realism and realism, mostly based on realism. Now, Paul Olmos, who is also from the New School, Actor Studio Drama School, he brought in his own play through Dallas and the Undermain. I saw it and I met Paul, and we were in the same acting class together, and he's out in Los Angeles, and he's a playwright. And Paul was recognized by Sam Shepard. He was given an award by Sam Shepard. And he did So Goes the Ghost of Mexico, or So Go the Ghost of Mexico, which was a political piece talking about the troubles of the ghost in Mexico. And that was done at Undermain. I met him that night and had talked to him about what I was trying to do with Drive Film Productions of Texas. But anyway, regardless, those are some of the big name theaters that I pay attention to, or try to. And anyway, check out Stage West. Check out all of them. Check out Hip Pocket Theater, Circle, all of them. They're great theaters here in Fort Worth. Even Casa Milano brings in some really good stuff.